Hello, my name is Dr. Roslizawati. I'm from Tunku Abdul Rahman University of Management and Technology, Kuala Lumpur. Today I'm going to present my research article. The title of my research article is University Student Perceptions of Politics, Young Voters Turnout in Malaysia. As an introduction, Voter in turnout, voter turnout among young Malaysians aged 18 to 39 has indeed been significant in recent elections, indicating a growing political awakening within this demographic. In 2021, the Malaysian Parliament embraced an ordinance lowering the voting age for general elections from 21 to 18 years old, as well as the automatic voter registration, or we call it as AVR. Some studies reveal that young people are considered important in politics because they are a group that will hold the power to govern the nation. Studies show that if more young people get involved in politics earlier in life, they are more likely to continue to be involved in the future and become a part of the ultimate goal of democracy. Young people are frequently deterred from political engagement because they believe their opinions are not heard and they lack the opportunity to participate. Efforts to encourage young people or youth political engagement, such as decreasing the voting age, enhancing civic education, and providing additional avenues for young people to become active, can have long term impacts. The 2018 general elections showed a significant rise in youth participation, while the youngest voters eligible to vote for the first time, those aged 18 to 20, voted at substantially lower percentages. The issue involving the age difference among voters in Malaysia has been going on for a long time. Recent election results have shown that first time youth vote patterns are polarized along the spatio-temporal developmental divide, with non Bumiputra or Malay urban youth preferring Pakatan Harapan and Bumiputra or Malay non-urban youth preferring Perikatan Nasional. With the introduction of AVR, the majority and kingmaker of this polarized election will be 53% of youth voters, commonly known as Gen Y. Usually, they are between 25 years old to 40 years old, and Gen Z, between 18 to 24 years old. Malaysian youth political participation is extremely low, not just in political parties, but also in youth organizations. According to the Registrar of Youth, just 2.7 million of Malaysia's youth participate in youth organizations. The rapid implementation of Undi 18 without sufficient procedures for balanced information and political education has prompted worries about the efficacy of young participation in elections and the possibility of political exploitation of their rights. Now we're moving on to the problems. There are three problems indicated in these slides. Number one, according to UMI 2016, she found that there is a concerning issue with inadequate political awareness among Malaysian university students, with only 57% displaying insufficient knowledge with 57% displaying insufficient knowledge of the country's political and administrative systems. The lack of understanding of politics translates to poor political participation among young people in Malaysia. As indicated by statistics from the Malaysian Young Index from 2015 to 2020. This reveals inadequate levels of youth political socialization, according to IYRES 2020. The voter turnout among youth In the 2022 Johor state election, the first to implement the Undi 18 law allowing 18 to 20 years old to vote, was relatively low compared to the total number of voters. However, the sources do not provide the exact percentage of youth voter turnout. The Johor state election was the first to have 18 years olds as voters following the implementation of Undi 18, adding almost 750,000 new voters, including 175,000 voters under 21 years old. Social media has emerged as an important battlefield for political parties seeking to attract and influence young people, particularly those aged 18 to 39 years old, who currently account for 50.3% of registered voters. Next, we're moving on to the purpose of this research. So, the purpose of this paper is actually to examine the factors that have spurred political perceptions among young voters, especially first time voters from 2018 until the 2022 elections, and also the impact of their decision whether to vote or not to vote. Malapportionment is one of the issues impacted by Malaysia's lower voting age from 20 to 18, according to JAI 2022. It generates uneven constituency sizes and can reduce voter participation, especially among young voters in urban and semi urban areas. By exploring these factors, this research aims to broaden our understanding of the complexities of voting decisions. The findings will have impacts on political campaigns, governments, and the whole democratic processes. Methodology of this research, they are primary and secondary data. So a survey was conducted among 150 university students from 18 to 20 years old, which we call them as a first-time voters. The questionnaire included demographics, sources of political information, political thoughts, leadership, qualities, and perception of political parties. The selected university are two private universities in Malaysia located in Klang Valley. So when discussing the factor, these are the this is the respondent profile, the demographic, which are gender for male is 49, consisting 49%, and female 51%. And all the respondents are coming from the young generation, or we call them as youth, from 18 years old, which consisting 40%, 19 years old, 25%, and 20 years old, 35%. One of the factor is the individual. So individual is, as we can see from this chart, social media has emerged as an important battlefield for political parties seeking to attract and influence young people, particularly those aged 18 to 39, who currently account for 50.3% of registered voters. Candidates are aggressively embracing sites like TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook to broadcast short, entertaining videos, explain policy, and gain youth support. The study suggests that the use of social media for political information among young voters in Malaysia may not always lead to an increased likelihood of casting their ballots. In some instances, the study indicates that social media usage could potentially distract young voters from fulfilling their civic duty of voting. This finding underscores the complexity of the relationship between social media engagement and actual voter turnout among young individuals. However, according to the findings, 81.4% students are actually rely on social media to get information about politics, and only 10% are coming from family members, and 8% is coming from peer influence such as friends. Additionally, gender and racial or ethnic identities can shape political attitudes and choices. Psychological factors also play a role in voting decisions. The third one is the perceptions of Malaysian politics. As we can see, the highest percentage is coming from the policy positions, which consisting 47.5%, whereas for the charisma, it's only 25%, party identification 15.5%, and confidence among the uh, attitudes, values, beliefs, and political ideologies contribute to the formation of preferences and can guide voter choices. Personal experiences, socialization processes, and exposure to political information through media and social networks actually further shape these attitudes. Contextual factors are equally influential. The political environment, including the performance and reputation of political parties and candidates, actually can sway the perception of young voters. Next is the social issues, cultural values, and identity politics also shape voting decision. It is important to note that voting decisions are complex and multifaceted, influenced by the interplay of various factors. Moreover, the, the relative importance of these factors can vary across individuals and contexts, making it challenging to pinpoint a single dominant influence. Next one is a candidate's personal traits. Voters consider a candidate's personal traits like openness, conscientiousness, extraversion, and emotional stability when evaluating them. Moral and competence related traits of candidates such as honesty, ethical conduct, and perceived competence impact how voters perceive them. So this is the result of this research. When discussing the factors influencing voting decision, it is essential to consider a range of factors that shape voter behavior. These factors can be broadly categorized into individual level factors such as demographics and personal characteristics, and contextual or situational factors including political, social, and economic contexts. At the individual level, demographic characteristics such as age, gender, education, income, and race have been found to influence voting decisions. For instance, older individuals tend to have higher voter turnout rates, while younger voters are often more politically engaged and inclined towards progressive policies. Educational attainment has been linked to increased political participation and liberal policy preferences. Psychological factors also play a role in voting decisions. The research limitation for this study is limited to one country under investigation. Therefore, further research needs to be extended to other countries. Number two, the survey is only conducted in the selected universities in the country. Future studies should include a larger number of respondents rather than only two universities to represent young voters. And the third one, effects of electoral systems and reforms. Different electoral systems can influence voting behavior in various ways. Studying the effects of these systems could yield interesting results. So I think that's all from me. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.